Never forget this, Chinedu, Ifeananya said one night, her voice low and sharp. Everything you are enjoying belongs to me. The day I get tired, you return to nothing. The words fell like a slap, sudden and burning. Chinedu laughed weakly that night, pretending not to feel the sting. He told himself she was joking. He told himself wealthy people spoke differently. But somewhere deep inside him, a small voice whispered the truth he refused to hear. In the beginning, the city had felt like victory. Tall buildings rose like promises, lights glittered even at midnight, and money moved faster than gossip. Ifeananya introduced Chinedu as her husband, dressing him in fine clothes, taking him to places he had only imagined. For the first time in his life, he ate without measuring portions. He slept on a mattress that swallowed his tired bones. He stopped counting coins. But comfort came with chains. Gradually, Chinedu noticed he had no voice of his own. Decisions were made without him. When he suggested ideas, Ifeananya waved them away. When visitors came, she spoke over him, correcting him, laughing at his village accent. At first, it was subtle. "You village men are funny," she would tease in front of others. Later, it became cruelty. "If not for me, where would you be?" she asked whenever they argued. Chinedu swallowed his pride the way hungry men swallow bitter soup. Quickly, without chewing. He told himself sacrifice was the price of success. He convinced himself that Ngozi and Adiz were far away, that the past no longer mattered. But the city had a way of stripping lies naked. When Ifeanyanya's businesses began to suffer, the house changed. Laughter disappeared. Friends stopped visiting. Bills piled up like unanswered prayers. And suddenly, Chinedu was no longer a partner, he was a burden. One evening, after he suggested starting a small trade to support the household, Ifeananya exploded. "Do you think I married you to start struggling again?" she shouted. "Must I now feed you and your useless ideas?" Her words pierced him deeper than hunger ever had. That night, Chinedu sat alone on the balcony, staring at the city lights he once chased. For the first time, they looked cold. Artificial. Unforgiving. He remembered Umudike, the quiet nights, the sound of crickets, the warmth of a home that lacked money but held dignity. He shook his head, trying to chase the thoughts away. But the past refused to stay buried. As months passed, Ifeanyanya's temper worsened. She insulted him freely now, no longer pretending. She reminded him daily that the house was hers, the car was hers, the money was hers. "You own nothing here," she said once, her eyes cold. "Even you belong here only because I allow it." That night, Chinedu did not sleep. He dreamed of Adiz standing by the roadside, watching cars pass, waiting for a father who never returned. He woke up shaking, his chest tight with regret. Then came the final blow. One afternoon, Chinedu returned home early to find strange voices in the sitting room. Men in suits sat calmly, papers spread before them. Ifeananya stood confidently, signing documents. She did not look up. "You are selling the house?" Chinedu asked, his voice trembling. She finally turned to him, irritation clear on her face. "I am restructuring my life. You are no longer part of the plan." The men left shortly after. That evening, Ifeananya placed a small bag before him. "Take this," she said. "I've arranged transport. Go back to wherever you came from." Chinedu stared at her, his world collapsing silently. "After all these years?" he asked. "After everything?" She laughed, a hollow, careless sound. "Years," she scoffed. "I gave you comfort. You gave me nothing. We are even." Those words finished him. He packed what little he had. No farewell kiss. No apology. Just rejection dressed as dignity. As the bus drove him away from the city that once promised him heaven, Chinedu felt smaller than he
had ever felt in his life. He clutched his bag like a child and stared out the window, watching the buildings fade into distance. Regret rose like bile. He remembered Ngozi's kneeling figure, her tears darkening the earth. He remembered Adi's small hands reaching for him. He remembered the laughter he traded for pride, the family he exchanged for illusion. In the silence of the journey, truth finally spoke clearly. He had not escaped poverty. He had escaped responsibility. And now, both had found him again. By the time the bus approached Umudike, his heart pounded harder than the engine. He wondered if the house still stood. If Ngozi still remembered his face. If Adiz would recognize him, or despise him. As the village road appeared, familiar and unforgiving, Chinedu bowed his head. The city wife had shown him her true face. And the village wife he abandoned had become a woman he could no longer reach. Behind him lay shattered illusions. Ahead of him waited judgment. And regret, patient and cruel, walked beside him every step of the way.